This is Zach,
This is Noah.
and this is Zach and Noah.
Take on the World, a podcast about one thing.
Everything.
All right, so we're here with the first mini episode of Zach and Noah Take on the World, and we are separated by 45 minutes, something like that. Yeah. So but we decided, in the interim between our next, big list podcast, we figured we'd do a mini episode. So we're calling this episode 1.5. Like Lion King 1.5 and all those.
I never watched it. All right, Evan. Heard it was good. Someone in the room told me it was good. Thank you.
Well, there you go. There you go.
And you can't go wrong.
That's right. I'm sure they're on Disney Plus if people want to watch, but it's not why we bring it up.
We are. What? Oh, I
Go
can
ahead.
tell them.
Go for it.
We are here because while most of the world stops, NFL free agency did not, and trades did not. We might as well just get into it. Obviously, biggest news of the week: Case Keenum back up for the Browns. Let's talk about it.
Oh man, pushing Baker Mayfield for that starting job. I see.
Honestly, after last season, I might be worried. I might be worried. But
I think the connection with OBJ didn't work as well as people expected. I mean, people were talking about the Browns going to the playoffs, and obviously they had talent elsewhere, but just didn't come together.
Yeah. All right, that's 15 more seconds. I don't want to talk about Case Keenum. Let's continue.
I think first the big news here in North Carolina. I think is where we'll start. We're based in North Carolina, so the big news is Cam Newton was given permission to seek a trade by the Panthers. And obviously, the Panthers in the middle of a big kind of reboot of everything. New coach, new offensive coordinator, among other things. Luke Kuechly retiring, Greg Olsen moving on. They released Eric Reed, and now Cam Newton, the franchise quarterback, leader in all the passing categories, NFL MVP, Super Bowl appearance. I mean, what do you make of this move by the Panthers? You're from down there near Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, never really cared about the Panthers that much, but obviously, everybody I'm friends with, that's their team. So, it was a long time coming, right? There was always you never knew when he was hurt or when he was going to play. I mean, obviously, Ron Rivera loved him, and they seem to be high on him, but I don't know. I just always kind of assumed this would happen. Maybe not a trade. I think we'll get to who came in and replaced him. I think that was the more surprising part than actually him departing. I didn't see him coming back, but obviously Matt Rule and Baylor coming in and the whole new coaching staff, they just want to do something different. So, and keeping Cam Newton would not have been different. So I don't know if I hate it. You got somebody who hasn't stayed healthy, who hasn't looked great the past few years. I mean, he did have that MVP season. That lack of effort in the Super Bowl, I think everybody I saw that media a lot this week when that happened, when they were talking about, how could you get rid of this man? He put his body on the line, and then him not diving for that ball. But right. I don't know. Wasn't surprised, but
yeah, I think I'd agree with that it wasn't surprising, but I think, just looking on Twitter, there are a lot of Panthers fans that were upset that, obviously really had a connection with him, and I think the effort he put into connecting with the city and the fan base was evident. And obviously you've probably seen this post on Instagram about how he'll always be a Panther and he'll always love fans. But it's not like he said, I didn't ask for this. This wasn't what I wanted. I didn't try to force my way out. So
Greg Olsen with that too. I think he commented on the same post. So yeah, the front office is probably not the best, but it's sports.
Well. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there, and we'll get to kind of the fill in there in a second. But to not talk about Tom Brady this early in the discussion is probably doing this wrong. So we have to go there. There's the NFC South connection, obviously. But, I mean, the Panthers are now going to face Tom Brady, Drew Brees, who just re-signed, and Matt Ryan each twice a year. But Brady first. I mean, what do you make of this?
Well, I'll say I was shocked. People say I don't know. I just never really. It's kind of like, and I just saw a post a little bit about it a little bit ago about like when Joe Montana went to the 49ers or when what's his face? I can't even think of his name. Not Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Same thing, pretty much. But when he played for the Wizards, and just people changing teams near the end of the career, like that's just ever since I was a kid. I mean, you never seen him in another jersey. But we've been like, how many years has he been in the league? 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah, long time.
Patriots, I think maybe 2001, 2002, something like that. And you just, I don't know. I mean, he is getting old, and I guess he decreased a little bit last year, but you just never, he's synonymous with that team. And I thought he'd rather retire than leave them, but I don't know. It's exciting. I kind of wanted him to leave to shake up the NFL, and he did.
Oh.
So, I don't know. Maybe he still has a couple years. Seen mostly good reaction from Buccaneers fans, it looks like, though. They're excited.
Yeah. Well, and good for them because Jameis Winston is real uncertain commodity. I think he had, was it 30 TDs and 30 interceptions last year?
30 for 30 himself.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, obviously some success, and Jameis hasn't been a bad quarterback, I think, by any stretch, but, I think there's definitely some concerns on there, so this kind of fixes that problem for the next couple of years. But, yeah, I think it's, you mentioned Brady being around for, I think, 20 years with the Patriots, which is just in football in general, unless you're a kicker, that's a really long time to play professional football. But to do it at such a high level, I mean, he has made the Pro Bowl 10 straight years from 2009 to 2018, first team All-Pro 2017, had multiple MVP in 2017. So, I mean, he still has had success even in this kind of older age, and obviously 6-time Super Bowl champion. But the Buccaneers need something, I guess, and they just got lucky that Tom Brady made that pick.
They got a few good wide receivers. I mean, you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate. Running backs aren't that great, but, I mean, they might figure that out in the draft or something. But I don't know. They made a splash. They went for it. So we'll see. They've always kind of been the afterthought in the NFC South because, I mean, you had the Falcons making the Super Bowl, Panthers making the Super Bowl, Saints. So they wanted to do something, and they did. I'm surprised. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but I wonder if a few teams turned down Tom, or Tom turned a few teams down before the Buccaneers. I wonder if that was his first choice, because I mean, obviously there was more talk about the Chargers, I believe, and maybe even the Titans, because Mike Vrabel and that connection down there.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how the rest of the league shakes out. But I'm sitting here looking at who the Buccaneers have on their roster. Good old T.J. Logan out of your alma mater, North Carolina. But I obviously can't go talking about Tom Brady without talking about Michigan. He's just bring that up. Yeah. If we're not doing that, we're doing the wrong thing on this podcast.
Sure.
All right, well, let's move on to who Carolina has signed to replace the aforementioned Cam Newton, who I would like to see in New England to bring this thing full circle. But we'll see how that happens. See how that plays out. Teddy Bridgewater coming over from the Saints to sign a 3-year deal with the Panthers, around $60 million. Is this the right move, or should they have, sought a quarterback in the draft?
So, I like the move. I don't like the money. That's the thing. So, I mean, he's a good signing, but not for $20 million, I don't think. Up and down in Minnesota always, kind of injury prone, just like Cam. That was always the thing they talked about, the team. They're like, oh, Cam, you can never know when he's going to play and he's injured, but you kind of got that uncertainty here. Obviously, coming in for Drew Brees and going 5-0 last year was impressive. I mean, the NFC South wasn't great. I don't remember the games. You can maybe pull it up. I don't remember who they played in those games. I mean, they weren't all easy.
Right.
Games he played. But, I mean, I don't know. He's productive. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And just coming in with a new coach, you want to have somebody, I don't know, kind of safe. And I feel like he was a safe bet. Probably not going to lose you a lot of games, but also I don't think he's that quarterback that's going to win you a lot of games. But when you have somebody like Christian McCaffrey, you don't need the quarterback to do everything. So.
That's right. Well, I mean, you saw the Panthers go what? 5? They won 5 straight with Kyle Allen. Was it 5 straight? It was something like that. Yeah. So that shows. Yeah, you don't if you have Christian McCaffrey and the weapons that developed with the Panthers, DJ Moore especially, and they had Greg Olsen. We'll see how that gets replaced. But yeah. So I think Teddy Bridgewater out of Louisville made the Pro Bowl in 2015. I don't know if that was as a replacement gig for someone who dropped out, but has had some success at the NFL level, like you said. Missed the entirety of the 2016 season and played only one game in the 2017 season. But he had success a little bit last year with the Saints, but I think almost, with the Saints, you could put anybody at quarterback, and Taysom Hill is an example. Nothing against Taysom Hill, obviously. But so I think it'll probably depend on how Rule and Joe Brady, the guy from LSU, how they plan that offense. If they plan that offense around him, or if he's kind of a holdover for, hey, let's tank next year and get Trevor Lawrence. That was something I was thinking about. It's like, maybe this is just, if it works, it works. Great. They've got a guy for the next 2 years who can be productive and maybe take some of the pressure off of McCaffrey. And if not, you got Trevor Lawrence coming out next year and, possibly pick that up. So we'll see. A name that I had seen floated for coming back to North Carolina, but did not, Phillip Rivers, for moving from the Chargers to the Colts. Yeah. 1 year for $25 million. Of course, I didn't catch what the guaranteed is, because that's the funny thing with the NFL, obviously, is they have this big, this is what it could be, but there's also the guaranteed part. But obviously a lot of money for 1 year for a guy who's getting older, NC State grad, has had success in the past, but never enough success. I think it's probably the best way to put it.
He's always had weapons, right? You've had LaDainian Tomlinson early in his career, Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen. I'm forgetting other wide receivers. I don't really remember that earlier receivers. I remember Legadoo Nene just because of that name. It wasn't the best. You got to remember Legadoo.
Antonio Gates at tight end.
But, yeah. I'm trying to think. Antonio Gates, did we mention him?
Yeah. I just said it.
Oh, yeah? No, I heard it.
Yeah.
Former basketball. We're not going to talk basketball.
Right.
Guys. But not this one in particular. Everybody, the news is just coronavirus. Everybody's got it.
That's the point. Yeah. But
you know how I feel about that? I like Jacoby Brissett, also NC State. I don't know if he's still going to stay with them. I don't know what that is. I haven't looked at that. But maybe 2 NC State guys on the same roster. I don't know. No. He's a good backup. Brissett is. He played well. They definitely teetered off at the end of the year, but we'll see. 1 year, they didn't tie themselves down. They can draft somebody in the draft if they want to. I don't hate it. I don't really like Phillip Rivers, and I think he's definitely on the downhill. But it's not an NC State thing. It's just, have you watched this man at the end of a game ever? Mm-hmm. It's not good.
Yeah.
I wish we could pull up stats, but it's just not good. So they're always in it. The Chargers were always in games and always competitive. He couldn't get them over the hump. So I don't know. They got a good team. T.Y. Hilton. Don't have Eric Ebron anymore.
Nope.
For him a couple of years. He just went to the Steelers. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't think it's the worst thing money-wise. It's 1 year.
Yeah.
Just what happens.
Give it a year, see what happens. If I see Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, and Brian Hoyer, I'm Phillip Rivers is an upgrade. I don't know how much of an upgrade, but like you said, there's some weapons there that he can take advantage of. Nyheim Hines, also former NC State, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So they're just having a party over a state party. But what this does leave room for at San Diego is a chance for your boy. So I'm just going to let you take it away.
Right. So last year in the 5th round, with the 166th pick of the NFL draft, the Chargers took Easton Stick. And Easton Stick's amazing. I don't even know what to say about him. This is probably going to become a weekly or bi-weekly segment called Sticking to It. We might change the name every week, but that's happening. I know we mentioned my card hobby last week. This is a new addition right here. The man came in when Carson Wentz, might have heard of him, went down, who lost two games one year for the North Dakota State Bison, who came in and won 8 games in a row, you asked, or 8 games, and took them to a natty. This man.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting likened to Taysom Hill, obviously doesn't have great arm strength and everything, but he's a do-it-all. Swiss Army knife, what's not to love? Doesn't have Twitter, Instagram, focused on the game only, no distractions. But yeah, just a legend, honestly. Dual threat quarterback. I mean, that's kind of what the league's going to,
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, never heard of him. Probably better than Lamar Jackson, honestly. I don't know if you'd go that far, but I'm going that far.
It's a bold statement. League MVP.
You don't know if you give him the chance.
Yeah.
Could have been a baseball player name, great name. I mean,
yeah.
What's not to love about him? Besides the fact that he is going to be a backup because they chose to go with Tyrod Taylor and not sign anybody else, which I don't hate. But obviously, that's a safe move. They've been linked with Justin Herbert in the draft out of Oregon. But yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of one of those guys when you think North Dakota State, you think constantly consistent. He's going to find a way to be in the league somehow, kind of like Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Or just like that. Terrell Pryor, who kind of made a name for himself too. Whether it's not quarterback, he'll do something.
Yeah.
He's just too athletic and just too gifted. Again.
Yeah. 4-time FCS champion. I think he started in 2 or 3 of those. Obviously, Carson Wentz. Most wins by a starting quarterback in FCS history with 49. 49-3 as a starter. That's unreal.
Wow.
I was a real big, as much as I could be, a promoter of Kellen Moore when he came out of Boise State. He ended up being he's ended up doing all right for himself. So, what was that?
The offensive coordinator for the Broncos, not Broncos, Cowboys.
Cowboys, same thing.
They both suck.
Same thing. Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on Easton Stick as things progress. The Chargers have some weapons in Austin. Eckler. Okay. And Keenan Allen, like you said, and obviously got the draft coming up, which that's going to be a whole different. The draft, we don't even have time to talk about that.
They'll probably be doing it like right here, Skype calls.
That's right.
Really, they were going to take people off in a boat to the stage, and I'm really sad that I'm not going to be able to see that now.
I know, right? I remember seeing that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to see that or if that's just too much that I just no. Too much.
First person to drown at the NFL draft. Let's put a bet on it.
Oh, man. Oh, unfortunately, we won't see that anymore. All right. A few more things to wrap up the mini pod. Re-signings. Drew Brees back with the Saints. Consider retirement. The man keeps performing incredibly and needs to stay in the NFL. Kirk Cousins got that playoff win, 2-year extension with the Vikings.
I mean, he played well.
Yeah.
He's not obviously Michigan State, so I don't like him very much. Never cared for him, but hey, you like that? Guess you like that.
Yeah. I think if Dalvin Cook can be a little more consistent, that'll be helpful. Dak Prescott signed an exclusive franchise tag with the Cowboys, avoiding, I guess,
I don't know why they're holding off. Just give him a contract already.
I was trying to avoid the Ezekiel Elliott situation for 2 years in a row. But, yeah, I'd give it to him. I think give him a little more time, and got a new coach down there, so we'll see what happens. Then Ryan Tannehill back with the Titans after their surprise playoff run. Man, I wish they had made the Super Bowl. That would have been awesome.
Like Derrick Henry. Gotta love him.
Yeah.
He's got to the ball off 30 times a game.
Yeah, and Alabama running backs have not always been the most consistent, so it's good to see one actually perform well at the NFL level.
Down there in Las Vegas now, he He had a good rookie year, so maybe it's turning around.
I hope so. I don't really care for Alabama, but they've produced some good players. But I mean, I just think of Trent Richardson, and he's the number 3 pick, and
Yeah, that
pretty
had
much.
like 2 or 3 touchdowns in the Alliance of American Football. You put some
Yeah.
respect on that man's name. Probably the leading touchdown score in that league's history. So hey, he could tell
You
his
might
kids.
you might be right. I don't think he ended up on an XFL team. No, he didn't. But other signings: Marcus Mariota to the Las Vegas Raiders, getting out of Tennessee. I remember watching those Tennessee games when they would pull him on the field in the playoffs, and I was like, "Give the ball to Marcus. Give the ball to Marcus." I had a friend in college who's a big Oregon fan, and so I heard about Marcus Mariota all the time. We mentioned Case Keenum to the Browns, Colt McCoy to the Giants to back up Daniel Jones. Man, I feel like the Giants are in trouble if that's their quarterback options.
If I can throw one in real quick on a big re-signing we might have missed. Chad Henne coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Michigan great. Just a little anecdote. So my friend from back home sent that to me, and I'd already seen it, obviously, because that's my boy Chad. But he sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, man, just getting paid Super Bowl champ back-to-back for this year. And he said, if you would have asked me, I would have told you probably retired 3 years ago. And, I mean, he's just been collecting checks. What can I say?
I was about to say, I didn't know he was still playing. It shows you how ignorant I am.
But I will tell y'all, everybody who hasn't seen it, please go and look at the photo of him re-signing the contract, because there are so many comments about the room he's in. Looks like some kind of dungeon, not sure what it is, but people are asking. And maybe we can throw in a picture somehow. Maybe we'll put it on the Instagram after this.
Yeah.
We could throw the Chad Henne picture on Instagram. We could take it from the not copyrighted.
Yeah, we can do that. Chad Henne played one game, 2 for 3 for 29 yards, and 1 rush for 3 yards last year. Sorry, 2018, 2 years ago with Chiefs.
He didn't play.
Yeah, he got hurt after being the backup for a homie.
Your clipboard can really wrist.
And you were right about Trent Richardson. 12 total touchdowns in the Alliance of American Football. Top of the league. Also had the most rushes per game. So I take it back. That's respect. 11 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. He only averaged 2.9 yards a carry. Well, touchdown's a touchdown. Lastly, and we just throw this in there because I mentioned it as my pet peeve last week, former Virginia Tech quarterback Logan Thomas has signed with the Redskins as a tight end. He's been the tight end for the last couple of years with the Detroit Lions. Caught 16 passes and a touchdown last year with the Lions. So I guess some of those quarterback turned other positions do work out. But, I mean, that man was built to be a tight end. It's like 6'6", 250. I mean,
that's
formidable.
That's what you want. That's what you want out of a tight end.
That's right. All right. Well,
Many pods get any recommendations? I mean, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think we recommend last week's podcast. If you haven't listened to this, if it's the first time you're listening to Zach and Noah Take on the World, last week we were in person recording, so the quality's probably a little better than this one. But we'll also be putting this one up on YouTube, so you can see us talk about this.
And I also like how he said a mini pod. I just checked it is at like 32 minutes. So close. Hey, it's our first. We'll work it out. There was a lot to talk about.
There really was. And
that's another thing. We keep it lighthearted, and that's good during these times. But everybody stay safe.
Yeah.
Wash your hands. Don't go nowhere if you have to. Don't kill your granny. Think about the grannies out there.
That's right. Amen.
Hashtag granny safe 2020.
That's right. All right. Yeah, so this will be up online here pretty soon. This will be on YouTube, so you can watch us. Just search Zach and Noah Take on the World podcast on YouTube, and you'll be able to find us. We'll also put the show link in the notes. So,
well, I don't know. This might be for a little bit. Might be what the regular podcasts are like. I don't know. Like, is it safe? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know who you've been around. You know who I've been around. We don't.
Yeah, we may have to keep doing this on Skype, and
See.
I'm still set for next week. Rolling in a new full length pod. This feels like a full length pod, but we'll roll a full length one next week. Officially episode 2, and so that'll be in your feed soon. So, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I will give a recommendation just because I've been listening to the song all day. Check out "Other Girl" by Kelsey Ballerini and Halsey. It's a bop.
Halsey's your girl, so man, I need to go check that one out. My recommendation is also going to be from a female artist. What's it called? Load my Spotify. It's called "I Love Me" by Demi Lovato.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bop.
It's a good one. I always love Demi.
That's right.
That approves. She approves.
Good. Glad to hear.
All right. Well, this has been a pod. It's been fun. Everybody stay safe. And, yeah, we'll be back next week. Probably.
That's right. Wash your hands.
Wash them. See ya.